Cool.
So we have Rick Brown here as our special guest. And Rick, you know, life lessons are one thing. Love lessons, totally different game. And one of the hardest things to accept is that love on its own is never enough.
You knew I was working today and I made that meal, and you could have thought to yourself, you know, you could have said, yeah, I think I'm going to get Brooke some flowers.
You said on our very first date that you don't like flowers, that they're a waste of money.
Every girl likes flowers, Gary.
You say that you don't like flowers. I'm supposed to take that to mean that you do like flowers?
No, this is not about, you're not getting it.
Oh yeah, that's the movie The Breakup. People were so upset when it was released because the couple, I'm gonna spoil it, they don't get back together in the end because love just wasn't enough for them. So the question is, can you ever really get the love you want? And Rick, you're an expert on intimacy, difficult relationships, emotional infidelity. Oprah loves you, so can you answer it, please? Can people get the love they want?
Well, they can, but falling in love, that's the easy part. Staying in love and making the love work, that's really the challenge.
Yeah. And I think
Isn't
people
that the
forget
truth?
you have to work, right? I don't know if people just assume it's something that will always be easy.
And we work at everything else. We work at our golf game, we work at work, we work at getting better as interviewers. We're always working at everything.
I'm trying, I'm working right now on that one.
But most people think, well, if it really requires that much work, it probably isn't the right relationship.
Do you find, is that like the biggest issue that most couples have that you work with, or is there one kind of universal problem you think a lot of couples
Well, I think
deal with?
the biggest problem people have is after a while you begin to feel a sense of being disconnected from your partner.
Yeah.
And when you begin to feel disconnected from your partner, people tend to either get busy, they get involved with friends, they get involved with co-workers, they get involved with kids.
Yeah.
But they don't get involved with each other.
And that makes sense. People say we just grew apart.
Right.
And then
Right.
they throw in the towel. So
Yeah.
if you want to actually work on it, you have some methods, right, for working through relationship struggles. And one of them is to mirror. What does that mean, to mirror?
Well, one of the things you want to do is get interested in what your partner's saying, and the best way you can do that is when they say something, actually mirror it back. So if you ask your partner, how was your day, and they begin to tell you, instead of just saying, yeah, actually say, oh, so you really had a great day, you enjoyed being with your kids. And
So you're kind of validating there too, right? That's your next step.
well, the next step would be actually say, well, that makes sense. In other words, you validate. Most couples look at each other like, well, you're crazy. And instead of calling somebody crazy, you could actually take more time and listen to what they're saying. If you listen long enough, most people will make sense. We really don't live with crazy people. Now, we may not like what they're saying. We may have a different opinion or see it differently.
Yeah.
But if you listen long enough to somebody, you'll be able to say, well, I can understand it.
I
That
think
makes
men
sense.
need to
Yeah.
work on that too. And I'm not bashing guys. I'm
goes
just saying
both ways.
a lot of times though, a woman tells a man her problems and he's a fixer. He wants to fix it.
Right.
But sometimes we just want you to listen.
Just listen.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, there's very few things in life that really need to be fixed. But there's a lot that needs to be listened to.
Okay, and then your next steps, you say empathy, inquire, stretch.
Well,
so-
once you listen to somebody and you can actually look at them and say, you know, I understand it, that makes sense, then you can actually have some empathy for what it'd be like to be seen it that way. Oh gosh, that must be hard, or you must feel lonely or sad. And then to inquire, well, can you say more? I'm really interested, I want to know more.
That would change a
like
lot
them
of
already.
relationships.
So you're kind of known as the therapist's therapist because therapists need therapy too, right? So we're gonna put you to a rapid fire test from our therapists. They're gonna
yeah.
ask you some of their own
Dun, dun,
questions,
dun.
and we just want you to give them the hard, fast answer if you can. Here we go.
And I am first. How can I find love after divorce?
Well, I think first we have to realize that divorce is painful, and then to realize you're probably going to get into the same kind of relationship again.
No,
So there's
thank
no
you, but
hope?
no thanks, Rick.
What you're saying
In
is,
other words, you're either going to work it out in this one, or you're going to work out in the next one. That there's reasons why we keep being drawn to the same people that we're drawn to over and over again. Even when we say, I'll never get involved with someone like that again, you will find that you are drawn to somebody who has some very similar characteristics of that person. Because what we're all trying to do at a deeper level is get what we didn't get,
Right.
but we really needed to get in our own childhood. And
Yep.
so,
you're up, Tara.
What is the difference between love and lust?
well, lust is really based more on feelings. It's a kind of an experience you have, the sensations, the endorphins all drop in. Love is really more of something you do. It's an action. It's something that you
I
have
like
to
that.
consciously be
Yeah.
aware of.
Jada, quick coin.
And what is the key to better sex? Give it to me, give it to me.
Pay attention.
The key is definitely better connection.
Okay.
When you feel really, really connected to your partner, sex is not a problem. When you feel really disconnected from your partner, sex is a big problem. It's usually one of the first things that go when you're feeling really disconnected.
So it's being invested in the relationship.
Let's get one more in if we can.
Okay, one more. When should I say I love you in a new relationship?
Well, I think you say that when you feel it and you feel safe enough to say it. And safety is something that only you will know.
Ah,
I
Rick
like
Brown,
you,
thank
Rick.
you.